Well, the American Medical Association, an organization whose mission is to promote the art and science of medicine and the betterment of public health, has decided that if you're fat, you're fucking sick. Obesity, in the eyes of the AMA, is now a disease. What does this mean? Well, if you're American and obese, which accounts for apparently 1 in 3 adults in the US, your doctor is now supposed to try and treat your obesity because, well, it's a disease. And doctors are supposed to treat and cure diseases. That's what they do. Before, they were just supposed to warn you about the risks. Now they're supposed to do something about it. The problem, some feel, is that doctors will do this the way that they try and treat everything else, with pills and surgery. Great for Crohn's, cancer, hepatitis, heart disease, actual diseases, but not for people who just have no self-control and can't stop themselves from eating a fucking half-gallon of ice cream and a bag of chips in one sitting. Now, I get that due to actual medical conditions or some other issues, some people can't help it. I'm not talking about you. Settle down. However, I am talking about you if you're trying to claim some medical reason as an excuse, but really you just don't fucking exercise at all and you consume 4,000 calories a day. And I'm also not talking about people who are a touch overweight. They're not even included in those stats. There's overweight, when you've let yourself go a little, and there's obese, when you've treated your body like some kind of burger and fried cheese dumpster, and now you don't fit in a movie theater or airline seats without spilling onto the armrest. 1 in 3 Americans are the second one, according to the latest stats. In Canada, it's pretty much 1 in 4. Don't worry, US. We're right behind you, walking in that massive shadow you're casting. Well, maybe not walking, or else there'd probably be less of this problem. And I always love how they word this shit. Canada is 6th in the world on a list of the fattest countries, with obesity affecting 24% of the adult population. Affecting them. It's not bird flu. These people more often than not had a choice. It's not like everyone's in the movie Seven, and there's some psycho force-feeding them while they're tied to a chair. These people willingly did this to themselves. Or they had shitty parents who weren't smart enough to know that letting their kid eat a lunch consisting mostly of fries and Snickers and washing it down with 4 Pepsis a day is not healthy. But who cares, right? It's not harming anyone. This isn't like smoking, where secondhand smoke can cause problems for non-smokers. Being fat only harms yourself, right? Except you're not looking at the big picture. If this is classified as a disease, this means doctors can just start recommending gastric bypasses or other costly procedures for people who could probably change their lifestyles and lose the weight in a healthy way in 2-3 years and keep it off. This means they'll be able to charge it to their medical insurance. This means you can bet insurance rates will go up, which does affect other people, since now they'll have to pay more for their real problems, while fat people soak the system just because they got no fucking willpower and want an easy way to cure their disease. Look at that fat fuck from Super Size Me who gets the medical procedure. He was fat because he drank like a gallon of soda water a day. That's not a disease. That's just having no goddamn control over your own vices. Disease.
Hello, work. Yes, I've come down with obesity. I'm too fat to come in today. I'm just gonna stay home and get fatter.
I don't want to hear about fat shaming. These are the same people who make stupid comments like, "The world's so obsessed with being skinny now. What about when women with hips and curves like Betty Page were sex symbols?" What about it? You don't look like Betty Page. You look like a poster boy or girl for Betty fucking Crocker. Betty Page never would have been classified as obese at her heaviest. There's a very clear difference between curvy and fat. Joan from Mad Men is curvy, not obese. These are also the same people judging skinny people. Maybe they can't help it. Being skinny is no picnic either, especially when you're a guy. I couldn't gain weight if my life depended on it. Maybe all those skinny bitches that fat people shit all over have the same issue. Ew, she has a gap between her thighs. That's not natural. Neither is looking like the Michelin Man if you spent a week at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Obesity is not a disease, okay? It's either caused by a disease or a condition, like hypothyroidism, or by not being able to stop shoveling food into your mouth and being lazy. And for the bulk of those bulky North Americans, it's the latter. And if you're fine with being large, fine. Why are we so hung up on this shit anyway, right? Why do we care so much about whether someone's fat or skinny or what? Because of the media telling us what we should and shouldn't look like, right? So fuck it. Be fat or be skinny or be whatever. But being obese is not a fucking disease, and if it must be classified as such, then for most people it's a disease they gave themselves. It's like a heroin junkie giving himself AIDS by sharing needles. Your daily trips to fast food places and watching TV for 6 hours a night gave you this disease. You don't need a doctor, you need a treadmill. You can cure yourself. You just don't want to.